Let's make me smaller. Oh, that's about it, huh? All right, that's as small as I can go. Okay, got the calendar updated there. I will have to have a spot for notes movie, I guess, and I'll get that after this. Hide. All right. So here's this first one. Okay. Now again, why? Hello. Why is this a hyperbola? There's a what in this thing? Three, two, one, go. Minus. Okay. Now which way is this going to go? Is it going to go right, left, or up, down? Which one? Three, two, one, go. Up, down. Y squared. Y is the good axis. I highlight that. So therefore, that is along the y axis. So let's put along the y axis. Now, again, I'm going to keep saying this probably daily. When we get to like reviewing the chapters, like I might do it tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be a complete the square day. Um, you gotta separate your hyperbola and parabola ideas because here's where people. I'm gonna actually do it. Y squared equals 4px. Remember that from parabola days? Which way could that possibly go? And this is why we got to make the separation. Which way do y squareds go? Three, two, one, go. Right or left? Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite analysis. There is no good axis, bad axis in this. What I've actually told, back in the day, for every x, you get two y's. All right. So the way that would happen, if I had an x here for a coordinate, I get two y's for that. The only way that could occur is if it was going right or left. So that's like something I'm going to go over when we go back to parabolas, and you have to get those separated. Because every year after I do hyperbolas, those that had parabolas down, they mix their files, and then they do good axis, bad axis for that, and it's not correct. So again, I just kind of popped in my head there. A very, very, very common error. All right. And you got to do a good job about separating those. Anyway, back to this. First of all, what is the center? We could start with that. What is the center? Three, two, one, go. You can't even make a mistake on that. I wish I would have hit spacebar one more time to make a little different example, but it's -1x, then comma -1y. If you just went -1, you accidentally got the right center, right? Just going right in order. That's another common error. Once you chase, get that head up. How dare you sleep in my class? All right. So anyway, you get the center wrong, everything is wrong. All right. So we can't make that silly mistake. Okay. So I go to -1, -1. All right. And you do the best you can with a quick coordinate plane. It doesn't have to be very special. All right. And then now we can do our y-axis and x-axis moves. And I'm not even insult you by asking what is the y-axis move. It's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still a y-axis radius, and then it's not 0, sillies. It's 1, 1 and 1 for an x-axis move. Okay, so that is over 1 mathematically. Now you stop and you draw a rectangle. Okay, you stop and draw a rectangle, and then you draw your asymptotes. Now, I'll show you how you can draw or write your asymptotes. It's going to be different than what the key has for the worksheet that I have there. Again, love that software that I use because it's easy to make these worksheets fast. Actually, I made these notes in like 1 minute or 2 minutes today because just to mirror our thing here. It's just a great thing. Right. And then one more thing. It's a y squared minus an x squared. So that is the graph. All right. And then that is the graph there. Okay, so you have the graph. That's perfect. All right, what things do they ask for here? Okay, so vertices. So we only have one set of vertices, unlike a ellipse where you have vertices and co-vertices, the major axis and minor axis. There literally are two vertexes. These look like two parabolas. So it's -1, 1, 2, 3. So you got to write it like that, -1, 3. And then the other vertex is -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. And you can find that easily by adding and subtracting 4 from the y coordinate, because that's all you did. You moved 4 up from the center and 4 down. So conceptually, if you can visualize the graph without graphing it, that's mathematically what you would do to get those vertices. All right, and then foci. Well, we got to do our little magic math here. C squared equals, C's got to be bigger than A for us to be able to get it in the bowls. Cereal bowl. I don't need table. Not necessary in this. C squared equals, well, A squared is 16, B squared is 1. A doesn't have to be bigger than B. Even if you accidentally switch those with a plus sign, it doesn't matter. So you'd be good to go. All right, and then that's 17, and it's the square root of 17. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 17 is 4 point. So I go 4 point up, 4 point down. Those x's are really tight, very close to those vertices there. Okay, so therefore the foci are, now you're allowed to do this, -1, comma, -1 plus or minus root 17. On this worksheet generator with the answers, they do go ahead and get the decimals for that. So they literally type, and I should not have to teach this, -1 plus root 17 decimal. Type it on your calculator, write the decimal down. -1 minus root 17 decimal. You type it on your calculator. All right. But I do like exact answers as well. And that's something we should be aware of. Okay, asymptotes. Here's how we can write this. And I really have no math to do for this. All right. You need to remember, maybe put this at the top of your notes. Yeah, sure, there's y equals mx plus b. But when I did lines with you guys, when we had, I forgot where we reviewed equations of lines, I reminded you of this one. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is really an equation of lines that you should have in your toolbox. This is called point slope form, because that's what you need. You need a point that the graph crosses through and the slope of the line. And you have both in both of these equations that I have here, or both of these lines that I have. So if you look at this, yet again, both of these dotted line asymptotes cross through the center of the hyperbola. So y minus y1, so we're going to put asymptotes here. And I'm going to allow this, by the way. I'm going to allow you to leave this answer alone. On this worksheet generator, they solve both equations for y if you want. And that should be something you should be able to do without me helping you. That is a basic skill, all right, that's expected as you walk in here. But you can leave your answer like this. Y might, okay, so it passes through the point, again, -1, right? Is it -1? Yeah, -1, -1. So I don't want that in the way here. So the point that it passes through, let's do this. Let's write this really out. So I'm going to do this form. X minus x1. The point that it passes through is -1, -1. And the slope is, well, I have two slopes. I have this slope for the positive line and this slope for the negative slope line, the one that's decreasing as you read from left to right. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, or what I told you, the slope is always y-axis radius, rise, over x-axis radius, run. So the square root of 16 is 4, square root of 1 is 1, 4 over 1, and it's both plus and minus 4 over 1. So filling this out, you're allowed to write this. Y minus -1 equals plus minus 4, x minus -1, and you can leave this in this form. So I want you to practice and understand point slope form, because it is something you should know and should have in the back of your pocket, like knowing for sure. And then, using it, I'll leave you a little bit less to write after that. And then quite simply, the last thing is eccentricity, which is E equals C C is root 17 over A, which is 4. And then you can get the approximation on our worksheet key. They give you the decimal. Actually, they give you both, if I looked at it correctly. They give you the root 17 over 4, and then they give what it is approximately. What's interesting about this one, actually, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, here we go. They do show that. So, interestingly, and then look at this hyperbola. It's very skinny, if you want to call that. Then I can actually make a kind of make up a thing about eccentricity, or at least surmise what's happening. So the eccentricity is always going to be greater than 1 because C is always going to be bigger than A for a hyperbola. But apparently, the closer it is to 1, the more skinny the hyperbola is. All right, and I look at that as I was making up our this worksheet this morning in 2 minutes. Made up that situation there. Okay, all right. Maybe not find all of this. I wanted to complete the square and maybe find the asymptotes. I don't want to go through everything on this one. But what do we have to do with this? Starts with a C. Complete 3, 2, 1, go. Complete the square. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to write this down because you don't have these up here. So should have like little elevator music here. Because after you're not writing, ma'am. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's get moving. Don't pull a chase on me. You look at how popular you are. You can play this at home again. Look, I made the movie twice. Okay, the reason I'm having you write this down real quick is then the next thing is I want to show you how easy it is to complete the square. 2 to 3 steps. Actually, the third step is just division. So it's essentially two strong mathematical steps here. Because in a test, you're given this, so it's typed. The very next thing you should say is, okay, I'm putting this and this together. And then what do I have to take out? What number? 3, 2, 1, go. 9, not 9x, you goofballs that are behind. All right. And I'm going to keep saying it, man. I don't know. We got some people still exhibiting those behaviors. They got to change. If you're not going to change, you're never going to change your grade. Don't complain about it. All right. Plus blank. Because at this point, completing a square is set. We've actually established how to do it. All right. So now we should be able to do it in 2 steps. So take out a 9, not a 9x, and then get ready to fill in that blank. You already know what it is, I'm sure. And then take these two and group them together. And of course, you're going to take out a negative 16. So you do want to make this plus negative, but just you got to make this plus and get that negative 16 out. And then knowing that you took that negative out, this 64 becomes positive. And I got to think for a second. I believe that's 4. Yeah, 4 times 4 cubed is 64. So 4 times 16. I just said cubed and then I wrote a cube there. So y squared plus 4y plus blank. Okay, I got some space. I got to keep adjusting my size here. All right, and now I add the 199. So equals positive 199. Please stop making that mistake. Whatever you do to one side, say it. And then whatever you do to one side, say it. So I need 2 blanks. Why did he repeat that? Because that's 2 different. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. I had to add 199 to both sides, and I'm adding numbers to the left side, so I have to add it to the right side. Still got people not doing those 2 things. You're gone. Okay, it's -3 on the next test out of 4 at least. Maybe full credit off because it's an inexcusable error right now. What goes in that first blank? 3, 2, 1, go. 1. What goes in the second blank? 3, 2, 1, go. And if you are not still getting those numbers, you again are severely and totally behind. When I say complete the square, you say take half the middle term, square it, because then you get a perfect square trinomial. All right. And then what's the first number in this blank right here? 3, 2, 1, go. 9. The highlighting. I love it. And then what's the second number? Negative 64. That's what you actually added to the left side, so you must add it to the right side. Okay, so all these things got to be cleaned up. There's only a few of you, believe me, that did not complete the square correctly on our last quiz. All right, only a few. Few holdouts. And then change this back to minus. So you see the hyperbola, the whole thing that makes a hyperbola. And then I'm ignoring factoring. MA, this is what you created. If you still, it's clouding your mind why completing a square is what it is and what the result is. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. All right. Oh boy. I got to do some math here. What, 208? Anyone? Did anyone put it on their calculator? Of course they didn't. What is the right side all added together? What is it? 130 what? 144. So it's just that was Chase again. He's just throwing out numbers. 137, Mr. Samuelus. Isn't that what you just said? Didn't you just say like 130 something? Yeah, okay. All right, let's move on. All right. Hey, you know what 9 times 16 is, by the way? You know what 9 times 16 is, by the way? 144. 144. Get another 130 answer. All right. Okay, so that means this is 16 x plus 1 squared over 16. And then this is y plus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. You know what? I think completing a square is good enough on that. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time. I wanted you to work more, and it's already at 8:09. Ugh. Okay, but the center would be -1. You're okay. It's x comma y. -1, -2. This is going to go right, left. Your x-axis radius is 4 right, 4 left from the center. Your y-axis radius is 3 up, 3 down. All right. And then the foci are going to be added. Well, I'll be darned. What's 16 plus 9? What's 16 plus 9? 25. What's square root of 25? Foci are going to be 5 right and 5 left from the vertex. So for movie purposes, I guess I could cheat and just go to the answers here and show that. All right. Cheater, pumpkin eater. Okay. So 5 right and 5 left from the center. We have that. And then, the foci, I'm sorry, the asymptotes rise 1, 2, 3, run 4. So you see those asymptotes, those things. But that's what I told you. On the worksheet, they solve both equations for y. You can do that if you want. I will allow you on the test to leave your asymptotes just in this point slope form. Leave it. Put the plus minus in front of the slope and leave it. You don't have to separate this into two separate equations and solve for y. Okay, so again, just kind of telling you how the worksheet works and so on and so forth. And then we get these questions. So go ahead and quickly write the directions down so I can hopefully be done. I gave some pretty rough ones here, but actually it's not going to be too bad. These first two are going to be fast. Okay, use the information provided to write the standard form equation of each parabola. This one we really need because we're not centered at the origin. Yesterday, you probably could have got away with not making a drawing. Today, I even, in my vast experience of teaching this, probably for 24 or like 27 out of 28 years of my career, I've taught conic sections. Even I have a hard time visualizing like what are my radii, where is the center? I got to graph it. I got to look at it. So you're a fool if you don't graph this, an absolute total fool. All right. When I see a student that has a question like this and there's no grid, no graph, and their answer is way off there, you're off in Jupiter and we're on Earth. All right. And you need to get here right now. Okay. Right now. You are purposely making a decision to not do your homework and not do what we are doing in class. It's on your shoulders. Okay. Can you tell I'm fed up with some of this stuff that I've seen and we're almost in December? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. 13 comma -9 and 3 comma -9. I don't need all the tick marks. All I need is spatially, where are these in comparison to each other? So here's 13. Let's say that's approximately -9. And that's a vertex. And then 3 comma -9. And that's a vertex. So what you need to understand, I don't want to leak into the next question, is I have to fill this out. Squared minus squared equals 1, and I need these radii. So I need these all filled out. I already know something. Okay, what's first? Is it X in that first set of parentheses or is it Y? 3, 2, 1, go. X. Everyone should know that in this room. Why? What does this have to do? Go which direction? Right, left is a fat or a mac. You can go ahead and do that because I don't care about the box right now. I just care if those are the vertices. This absolutely has to go like this. So this is X, this is Y. I already got what and I also have something else. What is right in the middle of these two? Starts with the C. I got no time. 3, 2, 1, go. Center. And then quite simply, you guys are making this too hard. You could count, or, I mean, what's right in between 3 and negative 13? Well, they're 10 away. So either subtract 5 from 13 or add 5 to 3. So what is this X coordinate? Starts with an E. 8, comma, negative 3. Or negative 9. Sorry, I had that wrong number in there. So the center is 8, negative 9. Be careful, but we are X and Y. So it is in nice order. X minus 8, Y plus 9. So now we're getting somewhere. That's 2 points, probably out of 4. All right. Understanding it's X squared minus Y squared and finding the center, which is generous. All right. And then 21. Hey, caramba. 21 negative 9. I don't know. I got to go like way out here. And then that's this. And then negative 5. I don't know. Make that right here, comma, negative 9. My negative 9's in the way. Oh, no. Okay. I put a little X there. Okay. All that tells me is what letter does this represent? What letter is that right there? A, B, or C? I'm going to cry. 3, 2, 1, go. C. Foci is always C. Always, even in an ellipse. How far is it from 8 to 21? 3, 2, 1, go. 13. C is 13. So I'm going to use my magic formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Vertices. I guess I didn't give you this one, but this is 5. Okay, this was 10, so this is 5. So, and remember, A and B, one doesn't have to be bigger than the other. Oh, and then we got a nice number. I know this is a Pythagorean triple. Does anyone know 5 squared plus blank squared equals 13 squared? Anyone know the next number? Darn it. There's 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple. This is the second one that usually people know. 5, nobody? Not 6, not 8. 12. 13 squared is 169. 5 squared is 25. 169 minus 25 is 144. Okay, so hold on. Let's try not to trick people here. What number goes underneath here then? 3, 2, 1, 0. 25. 5 squared. Not enough people answered that. Now, what number goes underneath y squared? Is it 12? Is it 144? Or is it 144 squared? 3, 2, 1, go. So I've asked that numerous times to try to get the goofballs to not do something goofy. All right. It's the radius squared that goes underneath there. Those other two answers, I get that all the time on a test, and I'm trying to erase that bad math out of your brain. All right. So that's what we need to understand there. Okay, I love this one. And actually, this one's easier than it appears to be. Okay, so first of all, we have to know what perimeter means. I hope I did put one of these on there, but real quick, I know you're writing the coordinates, but you don't have to learn how to write or graph a coordinate. Here's 310. Okay, this is just to get an idea of vertices. And then 3 comma negative 12, which is way down here. Okay, so what is this? Is it an x squared minus a y squared or a y squared minus an x squared? What's first, x or y? 3, 2, 1, go. Y. This is a y and an x. Okay, so that's what we're filling in. Don't forget your squareds. I'll take a half point off if there's anything imperfect on your answer. Okay, precision. All right, that's my job to make sure. Okay, and then the next thing, how far are these away from each other? How far is this from there to there? No time. It's 22. I don't know how first hour didn't tell me that. All right. Next thing. how far is the center then from, let's say, 10? How far do I have to go this way or how far do I have to go that way? It's the same answer. 3, 2, 1, go. 11. Okay, this is grade school stuff. All right. Oh, and then I got my 3 in the way again. I think it's easier to go 11 down from 10. What is that center value then? 3, 2, 1, go. Ne- neg- negative. This is okay. Let's all start over. That was awful. Let's start over. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting it wrong. Sorry. It's me. It was me. Okay, let's start over. 3, 2, 1, go. The coordinate is 3, comma, -1. My bad, dogs. All right, now, what goes with the y? Is it y minus 3 or y plus 1? 3, 2, 1, go. Plus 1 minus 3. Don't do a switcheroo. It's x with x, y with y. All right. Next thing is, I just said what this number is. So what goes underneath here? 3, 2, 1, go. 121. I heard an 11. Okay, it's 11 squared. Okay, so just get that out of your brain. And then, whoa, wait a minute. Mind blown. The perimeter of the central rectangle. When you graph, you got to make a what? Rectangle. So what's perimeter mean? All the sides what? Added together. So what's this side? Like, what's this side going to be? Like, what's this side going to be from here to here? What's that side going to be for the rectangle? 22. Okay, and I don't know if that's too far or not. What's this side going to be? Well, look at what I have. I have it right here, 22. Okay, what's 22 plus 22? 44. So then what's left over for this part of the rectangle? 96 minus 44. What is 96 minus 44? 52. Okay, but what you got to understand is this plus this is 52. So what is each one of those sides? 26. So this is 26 and 26. So now finally, what is the radius from here to here? 3, 2, 1, go. 13. So what goes underneath here? 13 squared. Those are your two answers. 3, 2, 1, go. 13 squared. And then again, I told you, A does not have to be bigger than B, and it's not. A is not bigger than B. Okay, and it doesn't have to be. So perimeter, all we had to do is a little grade school remembrance of what perimeter means. And then in context of this question, that's how much is left over for these sides. And then I need the radius. Okay, and that's how we get that one. Okay, last but not least. Oh, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, look at that one. I know with a tough one. We'll probably end up at 8:26 here. This is going to go a little bit longer. Did you just punch him? What was that? Violence happening in the high school. Kid seems fine. We're okay. All right. It was a joke. Okay, waiting. Are you writing? I'll pick up that pen for you. Okay, now this is what I was. It could have happened with eccentricity, where eccentricity could be. Take that glove off. Eccentricity could be in reduced form, and it doesn't necessarily mean exactly what C and A are. Well, the same thing could happen with asymptotes, right? So the first thing I better figure out is which way is this going? I bet you might be able to figure that out. Which way is this going? Is it a right lefter or is it an up downer? The foci tell you that. Which way is it? Right left or up down? 3, 2, 1, go. Right left. Why? Because the foci are right and left of the, it starts with the C. 3, 2, 1, go. And guess what the center has to be, everyone? I just highlighted it. What does the center have to be? 3, 2, 1, go. 3, -6. So right off the bat, you may call this one the hardest one of the thing, but you're at least still going to get 2 points if you recognize that the center has to be 3, -6 because I'm affecting the center by going right and left 2 root 85 randomly in this question. And knowing it's a right lefter. So it's x minus 3 squared minus y plus 6 squared. Just by that, without even getting anything else, that is enough for me. Okay? Now, we do have a problem with this. Boy, I wonder if I'm going to be able to get out of this one. This is going to be tough. This is actually going to be a lot tougher than I thought. Okay, so what is this letter then? What is that letter? Okay, I have to move right 2 root 85 and left 2 root 85 to make the foci happen. So what letter is always the foci? 3, 2, 1, go. That is the C value. That is the move right and the move left for this situation. Now, this is really tough. Okay, so knowing this is right and left, this is what I'm going to focus on. And then I gotta really do something weird here. This is like a really high level, high end question here. Okay, so remember what I told you its slope is. What are the two R's? Rise over run. Or plus minus 6/7, plus minus, let me get that out in front. Plus minus 6/7 equals rise over run, which, back to my notes, equals y-axis radius over x-axis radius. That's why it's not A over B or B over A. Which one's A, which one's B? That stuff doesn't work. Common sense works. All right? Going back to what we know about simplicity of what slope means. But here's an issue. This could be reduced. This could be reduced. Actually, the y-axis radius could be 12 and the x-axis radius could be 14, or it could be 18 and it could be 21. All he did is kept multiplying or adding another 6 and adding another 7, because it's got, if it's this and it matches with 2 root 85, that's fine. But if it's not, then we got a problem, and that's the issue here. All right, so that's why we got to figure out what we got to do on this one. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. We got to figure out what combination of these multiples of 6/7 match to be the square of 2 times the square root of 85. Really, really complicated. This is for the super duper high enders that understand what I'm doing right now. So the very first thing I'm going to do is square 2 root 85, which is 4 times 85. Probably be on my own on this one. 4 times 85 is 320 and another 20. So is that 340? I really got to get this right. Is that 340? 4 times 80 is 320. 4 times 8 is 32. And then 4 times 5 is 20. All right. So does 6 squared plus 7 squared equal 340? Yes or no? No way. It's not going to be big enough. So then what I'm going to try next is, what's 12 squared? This one feels pretty good. And 14 squared. Type that on your calculator. Does that equal 340? I know I get 144. Yeah, I mean, that's almost halfway there. All right, so that's the one. That's why this is a super duper high end question right here. This one's like way off the charts. All right, and that's what I told you. I worried about when they give you eccentricity, it could be reduced. I keep saying the wrong word, reduced. All right, so it's that combination. So anytime you see a slope or an eccentricity, it could be reduced. You might have to check multiples of that. All right. Anyway, all right, here we go. This is where this is tough now. All right, so what goes underneath here? Is it 12 squared, which is 144, or is it 14 squared? Okay, it's the 14 squared because this is rise. This is the y-axis radius. So the 12 squared goes underneath the y squared. So this is 144. And then this is, I think it's 196, right? I think 196 is 14 squared. Really, really, really tough. Would this make the test? Probably not. All right. But we do have to kind of go over things like that at times. All right. move on and do your worksheet. Hopefully, you can get a few of them done before you leave. So that's a big one, right? That's a big one.